Grieving Alone. I do not think we talk enough about the kind of grief that happens without witnesses. Not the loud kind, not the kind surrounded by shared memories and familiar faces, but the quiet kind, where the person you lost belonged to a part of your life no one else ever saw. I lost a friend like that. We did not share friends. Our lives did not overlap in visible ways. We spoke privately, consistently, over years. Messages on holidays, birthdays, small check-ins about how life was unfolding. Sometimes we met. Most of the time we talked from a distance. It was enough. He was kind in a way that did not ask to be noticed, thoughtful without being performative. He carried himself like someone who had lived many lives already and learned from all of them. He wanted the best for me, not abstract success, not status, just steadiness, just becoming. I spoke to him a week before he died. He was in hospital. His words still returned to me without warning. Only the strong will survive. Less than a week later, he was gone. There was no slow preparation, no shared moment of ending. I saw his obituary, and that was it. A relationship that had existed quietly for years ended without ceremony and without anyone else to hold it with me. So I grieved alone. There was no one to call who knew him, no one who could say his name and understand what it carried, no one who remembered the same conversations or the same version of him. The grief had no external place to go. When there are no shared rituals, grief does not transition. It does not move cleanly from loss into memory. It stays suspended, unfinished, because nothing ever marked the ending. For a while, I texted his phone, not because I expected an answer, but because that was how our friendship lived. It felt wrong to let it disappear suddenly, as if the relationship itself should stop simply because the line had gone quiet. I wished him happy birthday. I sent messages I knew would never be read. It brought a strange sense of continuity. I stopped when his number was recycled and someone else answered. That was the moment the last thread ended. Years have passed since then, and still, sometimes I cry when I think of him, or when I speak about him, or when the shape of this kind of grief is named out loud. I think I cry because there was no goodbye. There was no moment where the relationship was gently placed somewhere finished. It simply stopped, and I had to carry the rest of it internally, without witnesses, without shared remembering. I did not just lose him. I lost the future he spoke about. He talked about retiring, about moving somewhere quiet, about fishing and being outdoors, a slower life that felt earned. He invited me to visit. Sometimes I think about how certain those plans felt when they were spoken, and how fragile certainty really is. Not in a dramatic way, just in the way life quietly reminds you that nothing is promised. When I saw his obituary photo, he was wearing the jacket I gave him. Someone chose that picture. It did not bring closure, but it did confirm something important, that I mattered to him in an ordinary, human way, that something I gave him stayed with him in his everyday life. That detail has weight. Grieving alone teaches you how to be careful with memory. You learn how to mourn quietly, without interrupting the lives around you. You learn how to hold loss without asking it to be recognized. Life continues. Conversations move on. Time passes. And the grief becomes private, but not smaller. I still think of him. I still wonder if he is watching from somewhere I cannot see. I still hope he would be proud of how I am living. He was my friend, and I was his. There is no lesson in that, no resolution, just the truth of what remains when a meaningful relationship ends without witnesses. Tonight, that feels enough to say out loud.